It's pro hockey season, the perfect time to be reading Miles Lewis' King of the Ice. This is part two, and it's written by Kelly Starling Lyons, illustrated by Wayne Spencer, and published by Penguin Workshop. I'm Miss Melissa at the Oosterhout Free Library. Why couldn't Dad just tell me? Now I had to wait to find out who Willie O'Ree was. As soon as I finished eating, I put my plate in the sink and headed for the stairs. "Aren't you forgetting something, Miles?" Mama said. She glanced at the table. Right. I had to help clean up. When I was done, I made a beeline for my room to look up Willie O'Ree online. His picture came up first. He reminded me a little of Nana's brother, my Uncle Ray. I clicked on one of the articles. Willie O'Ree was the first black hockey player in the National Hockey League. They called him the Jackie Robinson of ice hockey because they both broke racial barriers. Over his career in the minor leagues and the NHL, he dealt with name-calling, racist taunts, people doing horrible things like spitting at him, throwing drinks at him, and starting fights with him. But he never gave up. I nodded and wrote his name in the notebook I filled with facts about important events and people. Willie O'Ree, that was somebody I would remember. Before getting up, I heard a ding. It was an invite from RJ, Jada, and Gabby to play a video game. Before joining them, I saw a private message from RJ too. "Hope you're getting my sign ready," it said. I sighed. He never let up. Somebody needed to teach RJ a lesson. Maybe it would be me. Secret weapon. Field trip day would be here before I knew it. I lived in a house of skaters. That gave me an edge. Nana taking me ice skating would be cheating, but there was nothing wrong with her giving me tips. "Nana, do you think you could give me some ice skating pointers?" I asked Saturday morning. "Sure, honey," she said. "When I get back. I'm running late for an appointment. We can talk skating all you want later today." She rushed out the door and didn't say where she was going. It was kind of weird, but I didn't want to be nosy and ask. I got some orange juice and noticed a flyer on the kitchen table. I saw the words luxury apartments and townhomes for independent seniors. My stomach dropped. What was that for? Was Nana thinking about moving? I held the paper in my hand, frozen in my spot. No way. She couldn't leave. It hurt to even think about her not being here. I put the flyer back on the table and turned it over, as if that would make it disappear. My thoughts raced as I trudged upstairs to my room. Was Nana unhappy living with us? Did I take up too much of her time? Why did she want a place by herself? Each step felt like I was moving through mud. I flopped on my bed and tried to think about something else. "Hey, Miles," Mama said, sticking her head in my room after a while. "Start wrapping up whatever you're doing. Don't forget, we're getting together with RJ in a few." The basketball hangout. I sighed. I did forget. I really wasn't in the mood to see him. But I got up and started getting ready. When Mama and I got to the park near our school, Brookside Elementary, RJ and his mom were already there shooting hoops. "I'll let you take over," Miss Nicky said. She hugged my mom. They sat on a nearby bench and started talking. "Horse?" RJ asked, dribbling the ball. He had on his favorite blue Air Jordan hoodie, the one he wore when he was serious about playing. I nodded. This was our game. You had to copy the other person's shot. If you missed it, you got an H. The next one you missed, you got an O. If you spelled out all the letters in horse, you lost. "You can go first," I said. RJ made a layup. That meant I had to make the same shot. Swish, sailed in. "That was just a warm-up," RJ said, dribbling the ball while he eyed me. "Let's see if you can do this." Jump shot, hook shot, over his shoulder, behind the hoop. He sank some and he missed some. Each time I was up, he looked like he was holding his breath, hoping my shots wouldn't make it in. But I was lucky. I matched his slow, missing a few and nailing others. Finally, we both had HORS. RJ knew this could be it. He dribbled the ball way out into three-point land. He knew that was my weakest shot. A long look at me, and then he lifted the ball in his hands, focused on the hoop, and let it fly. It circled the rim and landed on the ground. He winced. "It was so close," I said. He didn't say anything, just nodded and twisted his lips. "You're up." I didn't know if I would make it, but I knew how RJ was. I thought about missing it on purpose. That way no one would win. But I remembered how it felt when RJ was being so competitive. I was tired of it. I took a breath and focused on my goal. Hand arched, ball raised in the air. I let it go and felt like it was moving in slow motion. Saw Audrey's eyes follow the ball, too. Swish, nothing but net. Audrey came over to me with his hand raised to give me some love. I can't hate Miles, RJ said, giving me a pound. That was a nasty shot. But we still got our bet. Let's see how you do with that. What RJ said didn't even bother me. I had bigger things on my mind. As Mama and I drove home, I kept thinking about that paper I saw. You okay, Miles? I'm fine, I said. Just thinking about something I need to figure out. Want some help? No, I got it, I said. I know you do, but I'm here if you need me. Nana was in her room when I got home. How was your appointment? I asked, standing in the doorway. It was good, really good. Now come on, I promised you some skating talk. Come on in and have a seat. But I didn't want to hear about skating anymore. I wanted to know where she went and why. I tried to listen to her tips, but heard a voice inside asking questions instead. Did Nana really want to move? She had been living with us since I was in kindergarten. Hard to remember was when she wasn't here. What would it take for her to stay? Chapter 4, The Science of Skating. Monday morning, Miss Taylor started our lesson on physics to get us ready for the trip. How many of you have slipped on the ice? I raised my hand along with a few others. I still remembered how my backside ached when I hit the driveway. Think of how hard it is to have control, she said. What helps skaters start and stop on the ice? She wrote a word on the whiteboard in big purple letters. Friction. When you're skating and gliding, there's little friction between the skates and the ice. But when it's time to stop, push off or stop, the blades of the skates can cut into the ice and give you the traction you need. Next, she reviewed Newton's first law of motion. Anyone remember what that is? Jada raised her hand. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. How does that relate to skating? The teacher asked. I tried to focus, but I kept thinking about Nana and that silly bet with RJ. Even learning about science couldn't get me out of my funk. Miss Taylor caught me staring into space. What do you think, Miles? I'm not sure, I said. Then I fessed up. Sorry, Miss Taylor, I wasn't paying attention. Thank you for being honest, Miles, she said, but I need you to be here. The rest of the lesson I took notes, but I still felt like I was 2 steps behind. Miss Taylor talked about different kinds of skates, ones with 4 wheels, inline, ice skates, and how they were different and similar. You okay, Miles? Jada asked as we lined up for lunch. She knew if I missed a science question, I was out of it. Yeah, I said, and wished it were true. I ate my chicken nuggets. I tried to think about how to convince Nana to stay. I could tell her how much I'd miss her. Even better, what if I showed her how much she meant to us, and how much we needed her? Then she would never want to leave. When we hit the playground after lunch, Jada came over. I heard about your bet with RJ, she said. Why are you doing that? I don't know, I said. RJ tried to talk trash to me. Before I knew it, I was in. You shouldn't do it if you don't want to, she said. Forget about the bet. Just have fun. Jada, you coming? Simone called over to her to double dutch with her, Carson and Lena. See you, Miles. Jada was right. I thought about what she said as I joined Gabby, RJ, and Kayla and the crew for kickball. Maybe I should just call the bet off. But on the ride home, RJ kept trying to get under my skin. I'm with the sign in my favorite color, green, he said. Make the letters real big so everyone can see. Whatever, RJ, I said. Why are you mad, he said. You can't be good at everything. I was worried about Nana and RJ was getting on my nerves. Didn't say I was, I snapped back. Why are you being a hater? RJ crinkled his eyebrows and had a strange expression, like he couldn't believe I said that. He turned to the window. We rode the rest of the way without talking. I got out a book and pretended to read. When we got off my stop, I couldn't wait to get off. Nana wasn't outside when I walked up. I found her in the living room, packing up things in boxes. My stomach dropped again. Miles is certainly having a rough day. Next time we'll see if it gets better or worse.